Hi guys, please subscribe to this channel and like the video to support my project. And we are starting a new adventure. Today we are going to visit Parc Güell in Barcelona. The park was designed by the famous architect Antoni Gaudi, commissioned by the Catalan industrialist Parc Güell. It's the most visited park in Barcelona and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The history of this park began at the end of the 19th century. Initially, Parc Güell planned to build luxury mansions for wealthy Barcelona residents in then fashionable garden city style in the hills outside of Barcelona. To realize this idea, he invited Antoni Gaudi. Gaudi worked on this project from 1900 to 1914, but the project was failed. Of the 62 plots offered for sale, only 2 were purchased. Wealthy citizens did not want to change comfortable housing in the center of Barcelona for a deserted area outside of the city. In 1922, the Barcelona City Hall bought the park from Parc Güell heirs and converted it into a public park. Park Güell is a harmonious combination of the nature and architecture. It also offers stunning view of the city and the sea, as well as the famous Sagrada Familia. But let's see who Antoni Gaudi was and why his buildings are so unusual. Antoni Gaudi is a Catalan architect who has become internationally recognized as one of the most amazing specialists in his field, as well as the greatest exponents of Art Nouveau. Gaudi was born on June 25, 1852 in Reus. He came from a family of boilermakers, which enabled the young Gaudi to acquire the skills to work with space and volume, as he helped his father and grandfather in the family workshop. As a child, Gaudi's health was poor, which caused him to spend a lot of time relaxing in the summer house in Redons. There he spent a lot of time observing nature. In 1878, Gaudi completed his studies at the School of Architecture and started working in a workshop on Calle del Cal in Barcelona. Gaudi created real masterpieces that still amaze with their uniqueness. Gaudi in his youth was a frequent visitor to theaters, concerts, and dressed elegantly. But with age, he began to neglect his appearance and devoted himself to religious and mystical moods. In 1926, as usual, every evening returning to the Sagrada Familia from the church of San Felipe Nera, Gaudi did not notice how he stepped onto the road and was hit by a tram that had just appeared in Barcelona. After that, he lost consciousness. No one even suspected that the old man, who did not have any identified documents with him, was a famous architect. He was taken to the Hospital of the Holy Cross, where he was later identified by the diacon of the Sagrada Familia. Gaudi died 3 days later, on June 10, 1926. He was buried in the same church, and his funeral was attended by a crowd of people. The people of Barcelona came out to say goodbye to the greatest architect the city has ever known. We are in the highest part of the park, from where we can see almost all Barcelona. There are 3 crosses on the top of the stone hill called Calvary. 2 of them pointed to the cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, while the third is directed to the sky. At one time, Gaudi wanted to build a chapel here, but the remains of the prehistoric period were found on this site, so this find inspired him to build a cave-like structure. Around the park, Antonio Gaudi created viaducts wide enough for a carriage to pass through. The viaducts were built in the Gothic style. The building below us is the school. It occupies the entire area of the 18th century building, which was formerly the farmhouse of Count Güell, and which was designed by the architect Antonio Gaudi. The public school was opened here in March 1939. We are approaching to the main entrance to the park. It's not the only entrance. We enter from another one. Here we will see the famous iron gates, 2 pavilions, a warehouse, a carriage room, and a grand staircase. Currently, one of the pavilions and the warehouse is occupied by excursion tents, a gift shop, and a bar, although originally they were garden city administrative buildings. This is the most famous part of the park, which had become a symbol of Barcelona. Above the main entrance is a great staircase that leads to the hall of 100 columns. Here we will see the sculpture of a lizard. This is the area of nature. It offers stunning view of the city. There is also a bench designed in the shape of a snake and completely covered with ceramic chips. Ahead us are 86 columns supporting the roof, on which there is a huge area. We just were there. The roof is covered with white ceramic cladding elements, of which can also be found between the columns. The columns are asymmetrical, tapering upwards, all have the same slope. They not only support the roof area, but also serve the drains for the rainwater flowing down from the roof surface. The water in the column is filtering and draining into a room that is located under the hall and serves as a reservoir for storing water. The columns are asymmetrical, tapering upwards, all have the same slope. They not only support the roof area, but also serve the drains for the rainwater flowing down from the roof surface. The water in the column is filtering and draining into a room that is located under the hall and serves as a reservoir for storing water. We come to Gaudi House. This building, designed by Francesco Berrunger, was built in 1904-1906. Initially, few buildings were built in the park. Then it was realized to build a trial building, a model, in order to persuade the people of Barcelona to buy plots of land for the construction of luxury residences, and thus develop real estate in the city. In 1906, Antonio Gaudi bought this house and lived there himself for some time. A little later, the same year, Francesco Antonio and Rosa, Gaudi parents, settled in this house. The house was originally built not as an architectural monument, but as a living space, which, thanks to all the amenities and favorable climate, was suitable for the parents of Gaudi, whose father was very ill. Francesco Gaudi died in October of the same year. Antonio Gaudi, niece, who was also seriously ill, died here 6 years later. So the architect lived here for 20 years almost completely alone. A few months before his death, in 1926, Gaudi left his residence in Park Güell. At that time, he was engaged in the construction of Sagrada Familia, and the architect decided to settle in the workshop near it. After Gaudi's death on June 10, 1926, according to his will, the money from the sale of his residence went to the construction of Sagrada Familia. The residence was sold to a Turin couple, Francesco and Arietta Chiappa. The couple had no children, so after their death, the house was inherited by their nephew, and after his death, his heirs gave the house to so-called Society of Gaudi Friends. In 1960, the Society of Friends of Gaudi acquired the residence with the aim of making a museum here in memory of the architect. That's all for today. I thank you for your attention. Please subscribe to my channel and like the video. And see you in the new interesting places.